Hi, bye.
Hey, how are you guys? Welcome to the Sherwood Shakeup.
Hi, bye.
I am your host, Matt Weinglass, and I have
Other host.
with us. Awesome. And that was David Madwin, our producer, also on the screen with us shortly. He's doing an exceptional job behind the scenes, but also in front of the scenes as well, which are actually today's episode, Lizette, just before we get to some of the other stuff happening in the community. We just to let everyone know, we have a very special interview that was done by David himself, and we're going to be introducing the creators of Interlife very soon onto the show. But first, before we get to all the exciting happenings, what's going on in your neck of the woods? What's that?
Well, Matt, before we get into any of that, is there something you need to tell me? Like, today's a special day for
Today
women. You know, it's International Women's Day.
Okay. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. And to all the amazing women out there, our mothers, sisters, aunts, filmmakers, directors, all of that good stuff. Happy Women's International Day.
Absolutely. And I feel so bad that we should have dedicated a whole episode. I feel really bad. We should have done Women's Appreciation Day. And we fucked that one up.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll get the memo for the next one coming up, or do a special show for women.
We will do it next time. But for now, we'll have a special appreciation moment for International Women's Day. So here's the moment. We're giving the moment right now. Moment of appreciation.
Moment of appreciation.
Yes. Very good. So then, yeah, we are really excited about all the stuff we have brewing in the Sherwood community right now.
Absolutely. My gosh.
Yeah, we have a comedy show. We have our animation project that's going to be released at the end of the month on Genre TV, Crash.
Nice.
And we have a new director's course that will be starting at the end of the month as well at the Complex Hollywood. These are exciting things. I mean, Lizette, this is probably the most stuff we've had on the table at the same time, and this is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like I told you, what did we call it on the last show? The Sherwood Storm?
The Storm. Yes, for sure. Well, so
it's positivity.
And we recommend everybody go to our website, sherwoodplayers.com, where you can engage about all of these events and stuff coming up. We don't have time to get into the dates and details right now, but just, we have something for everyone. So if you're looking to get involved, if it's your first time maybe it's your first time out of the house in 2 years, who knows? But if you're looking to engage and physically interact with us, we have physical things happening and we have online things happening. So it's for whatever your preference is. So certainly go to sherwoodplayers.com, check it out.
Right there.
Beautiful. It's well timed. So yeah, and I think you're going to be hosting at our comedy event, actually.
Yes. I just got that announcement, so I'm excited. So I'll be there too. Yay!
Good. We're going to be there with Jamie Kennedy, with Bill Devlin, some other fantastic comics. This will be on March 19th. You can go get tickets right now on our website at sherwoodplayers.com. March 19th in the Valley. Yes.
Awesome. And we'll go more about that too later on with details on everything, right? It's March 19th, Matt, not March 18th, right?
Because 19th, Saturday the 19th.
Saturday the 19th. There you go.
I should mention this. This was a surprise to us because we're doing it at this restaurant bar that they just built this outside space. It's an incredible stage. They just built it for this event and for future events. So we're trying to bring comedy back to Los Angeles through small businesses. And what we figured out, and this is pretty crazy, March 19th is the 2-year anniversary of the initial lockdown in California. So it's a very empowering moment for small businesses and to say, let's give back, let's bring back the interactive events, let's bring back fun, comedy, entertainment, and we're doing it literally in a small business at the new outside stage that was just built. So we're doing this to support other small businesses, and we're going to make it a regular thing there. But we'll actually, Lizette, I should mention this before we get on again. We have a lot to get to today, but Next week's guest on the Sherwood Shakeup will be Angela Marson. She is the owner of the Pineapple Hill Bar and Saloon that is hosting our event on the 19th. She'll be getting into her story of how she got to this place 2 years after the lockdown and able to host this event with us.
Nice. It's so funny. I used to hang out there all the time, way back in the day. And now they're there and they're back. So
they're back and they're coming full circle. And we're not just going there to hang out and drink, but we're actually, well, we can hang out and drink, I guess, but
we could two drinks.
Something important, right? We're trying to engage with other artists, other entertainers, performers. Have some fun, do some comedy, laugh a little bit, right?
We need comedy in our life. I mean, I don't get offended by certain things. I know a lot of people do, but honestly, comedians are there to make things lighten the situation and lighten things up, because we take things way too serious, and we all need comedy.
Yeah, so. And again, you can get the tickets on our website, or you can go directly to uncancelled.eventbrite.com. That's our unique link, uncancelled.eventbrite.com. What does the uncancelled stand for? Well, Uncancelled is the name of the troupe we put together called the Uncancelled Comedy Collective, which is about fighting back against censorship and saying let's have a chance. Let's keep our platforms alive. Let's not let Google and YouTube and all these algorithms and Facebook, Twitter shut us down. Let's allow ourselves to have our point of views, and as artists speak out and tell our stories. And so what better way to do that than in comedy? So
love it. I am down. I am so excited, and I cannot wait to talk to people and interview people.
Absolutely.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
get your tickets now.
So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to, like I said earlier, our producer, our Sherwood Shakeup, our general manager, David Madwin, had a chance to go one-on-one, or actually one-on-two, with the heads of Rypplzz. They're the creator of Interlife, and they're an NFT company that we are focusing this show on today, because we did an NFT show earlier last month, and we got requested to do a follow-up. So this time we're going to get into Rypplzz and what they're about. And David did an excellent job doing this interview, and we're going to cut to this now. And then after the interview, we'll come back here and we'll discuss it. We'll have David on with us to discuss, kind of do an after show discussion. We're going to lead that right into Clubhouse as well. So you guys have a chance to come on with us on Clubhouse and discuss more NFT. Any questions that come up during the interview, you guys are welcome to write your comments on here or save your comments and questions for when we go on to Clubhouse at the top of the hour. How does that sound? That's good.
Sounds good to me, Matt.
Okay. Well, without further ado, here is David Madwin with the creators of Interlife, Rypplzz. Take it away.
Hello, how's everybody doing? So I have with me today two of the team from Rypplzz, a really cool company behind Interlife. We have Brooke Wade and Everett Woods. Hi, guys.
Hello, how you doing, David?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Lovely, man, lovely.
Glad to hear it. Awesome. So can one of you guys tell me just briefly, like, what is Rypplzz and why the spelling?
All right. So Rypplzz, we're essentially a company that has created this dynamic technology ecosystem. And we're the company behind Interlife. That's a platform that entangles the digital and physical spaces. All right. So Rypplzz, you might look at that spelling and say, why in the heck did they choose RYPPLZZ? So RY, if we section that out, and you'll see that on our Instagram page, it's like an homage to the Rydberg unit of energy. And that's used to calculate. And did you hear that accent? Did you like that? Calculate? Calculate energy levels in the hydrogen spectrum. And our philosophy is to flow like water so that we may adapt in harmony with evolution. And PPL, that essentially is the people. We want to give the power to the people. We want to affect change in their lives, and we always are going to put them first. So that's why it's in the name. And ZZ is paying respect to the Z scale. And that's the type of model railroad scale used to measure the quality and efficiency of railways and trains. And our purpose is to ensure that the Interlife system optimizes the flow of life sustainably and efficiently. So that is the crux of why Rypplzz is spelled Rypplzz and why we are who we are.
Awesome. Well, I love that explanation. My mind was like, oh, it's sideways Olympics and weird spilled water. Because
sideways Olympics. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, also only 3 rings, but my brain sometimes just does dumb things when I look at things.
Hey, look, we are all of our brains do. But I know there's a breakdown on the logo about, the intertwining of the circles, intertwining the physical and digital technology and making them infinite. And the box around the logo depicts the grid, and all of that put together, your physical, the digital, the infinite connection between you and the environment, you and the devices that you have, you and the people that you care about, you and the places that you frequent. All of those things are an energetic flow, and they're connected within Interlife, which is a new world of physical and digital objects all working together and creating like this authentic experience that is up-leveled by the technology, not necessarily dominated or diminished by technology, which is something that we see. Those are the things that we intentionally put behind the brand so that people are able to see. A lot of people are driven by the dollar. And I mean, I know we all are, right?
Fortunately, it's a part of society, right?
Right. Unfortunately, you need that to live.
Yeah.
But then take that and then do something that is allowing us to give back to those people that we're going to be dependent upon. So I just like the essence of who we are, and the founders like Brandon and Josh, who've been there from day one. I know I joined. I'm a relatively new member of the family. We kind of operate like a family. They made sure that we knew the essence before we knew the technology, before
Awesome.
we knew the potential.
So that sounds awesome. It also sounds a little bit like sci-fi to me. Like, I grew up reading Scientific
Me
American,
too.
and I'm still like, wait, so it's magic?
Right? Doesn't it?
So Interlife is based on blockchain. Is that correct?
I would say that Interlife is more of a representation of the environment utilizing technology, if that's like a vague, artsy way to put it. What do you think, Everett?
And then the simple form is Interlife is an operating system. It's a new operating system, and that operating system allows us to turn the entire physical world into digital engagement opportunities. So you now have everything that exists on the internet, all the digital content, your social media, anything that you can look up on the internet now actually has a physical address, and you can take digital content and place it in physical real world locations and interact with it. You can leave it for specific people to interact with. You can leave it just for yourself. You can create entire new versions of the physical world that you hang out in. You want to go to a club, but you want that club to be Christmas. You could decorate that club with Christmas trees because your friend is coming from out of town and she loves Christmas. So it just gives you an opportunity to put the internet on the map.
Awesome. That sounds really cool. So it sounds like, it's a way for you with your technology to change the world around you. So would you say it's almost like, I mean, again, I know this is a very imperfect definition, but like augmented reality meets like World of Warcraft, where you're building the world, but it's also around you?
I like that though.
That's good. I would that is actually kind of cool, right? But I would just say that AR is not what the platform is. The platform is a mechanism that merges the digital and physical world. However, because it uses any type of digital content, AR, VR, music, pictures, movies, all of that stuff kind of like TikTok in real world locations, Instagram on the streets, Facebook in 3 dimensions, right? Like all of that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
You're thinking social media. But I mean, hey, look, if my nephew was studying ancient Rome, right? Like I could drop Colosseum at his school or at his house. And when he needs to write a paper, he could walk around and experience that, and or find articles or Roman gladiators and just kind of little pieces of interesting things that he could relate to.
So when you say walk around and find that, does that mean, so that could either be an augmented reality thing where he's actually like holding up his phone and seeing on his phone, or it could be when he gets to a certain location, he gets some sort of notification or some sort of interaction with his technology that allows him to understand and view it in a physical space. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. That sounds really cool. So, clearly Sherwood Players is obviously everyone is a technology company now, right? I mean, even my camera, I work in codecs, right? Not film. So everything is technology, but I would love to talk about how this pertains to media and content creators. But I would love to know about what your idea is for like business to consumer for the actual applications for content creators.
This platform was designed and really is, I mean, all of us on the team are artists in some way, shape, or form. We all are creators. And this was really built as a way to be a new medium for artists and creators to be able to express themselves, to show others, how they see the world, to have new and unique experiences. So definitely, if you're a creator, basically think about having the entire world as an open canvas. So, you could be a fashion designer and you're just starting out, you can't afford to even rent a venue, but you could take over Rodeo Drive and do a fashion show there and have people that are shopping on the physical Rodeo Drive actually be able to see some of your outfits.
That brings up a good question of like, let's say I'm like, okay, well, I'm a new designer and I have this beautiful new A-line dress, let's just say. It's made haute couture, obviously. And I decide I want to place this on a certain corner on Rodeo Drive in Los Angeles, one of the most high-end shopping districts, to stop every single person from putting their stuff in the same location. And who's the arbiter of who gets a space?
No, that's very interesting that you said that, David. So really, I would say you can't necessarily stop people right now from putting their content where you put your content. And right now, you are free to deploy whatever content you'd like to deploy at that location, which is a very unique place to be in, because really, don't they charge for like geolocated content, businesses and stuff like that? Right now, you can't do that for free.
What is the technology that people could use now if they were to go to your website? Which I will put up on the screen right over here.
Lightplay.app.
Awesome. Great. I'm excited to check that out. And I hope everyone, content creators, checks that out and then lets us know. Sherwood is also talking with Rypplzz about some really interesting new ways to connect media and technology and space. So I would love to hear what you guys, the consumers, who actually want to use this, what you guys are doing with it, what you guys want more. And I will, obviously let Rypplzz know too.
That is something that we care very much about. We're attacking the space from the user experience first. It's important to us to have that feedback right now. So you guys get on there, play. There's no wrong way to do it. So just get out there, and we would love to start seeing what you guys come up with and how you guys start deploying this utility.
I'm all about free speech, but you know what? Do whatever you want. Just avoid being a jackass to people, especially if it pertains to something they were born with or a lifestyle. Just do that, right?
Yeah. We have community standards, but
awesome.
most of those are built around be human.
I'm sorry, are these Twitter standards where if you're famous enough they don't apply to you, or are they regular standards?
No, these are just standards. I think rules should be rules and guidelines should be guidelines. So
you guys can create a safe space for everyone to work in and have their own freedom of speech. Great.
And And that's the goal. Very, very important. Like Everett said, we don't want to just come and duplicate the same vibe that's already out there, right? You might look at this and think, oh, social media app. But like Everett's saying, it's more useful like a tool, a deployment tool, or a really cool way to interact and connect. And eventually we're going to be doing some really cool engaging things over the summer and right now as we enter into spring. I always call it like with my way back when I had real estate experience, and the sale goes through much better when you stage it. And not that I'm selling people, however, when you come into this space, it's much better if there is something for them to do or show them how to build, because this is a brand new tool that's never been out there before. So we're going to be working hand in hand to not only make a digital impression where we might be doing live streams to show you how to use Lightplay, show you how to make your own scavenger hunt, especially for those content creators that would like to engage their audience in a brand new way. And then not only are we going to do that physically, we're going to be at locations and doing some really cool, fun things and bringing the people in on the experience and being more inclusive. That's just so important to us. It's just, like you said, not to bash any platforms, but how you said certain rules don't apply in certain places. Nope, you're not going to get me, but
I don't care.
Don't cancel me. But no,
but actually, it's funny. We have a stand-up. We're producing our first stand-up comedy show. That's called the Uncanceled Tour.
I love
it. Yeah.
Everybody's a human. Everybody's a star here on Lightplay. Put your most creative self out there. Duplicate your presence. Amplify your voice. Put something out there that'll make somebody smile. That's really the goal, and up leveling that experience. And then if you're down for making some money, it's like, let's take all the doors that aren't open and open them. Awesome. And you create your own experience. We want to empower people with those tools to show up at the front door with their audition in a really crazy way, or take their excited users and guide them on a really cool adventure. And
I'm so excited. Please go on. Like, can you describe a few more details about how you can actually use your own applications, your own ideas in a physical space, and what other, maybe like even more in more general sense of how you could use it for marketing, or how you could use it for putting your art in a location, and also how can people make money off this, or can they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Everett, do you want to go first? I know this is Everett's jam.
No, I love this. So I mean, again, it's giving creators this power that they've never had before. And I get really excited about this because, you look at someone like a social media influencer, let's say, and they have brands that, will, sponsor them. They'll send them some goods and all of this stuff. And you do a deal with this company, whatever the brand is. And at the end of it, and I apologize, there's a gigantic truck outside my window.
I blame you personally for that truck being there. Go on.
I personally, I scheduled it and I knew that this was going to happen. No,
I had that feeling about you.
So for a social media influencer, think about it from the brand's perspective. That's your client, right? So you could now say, I don't know, Nike, Ray-Bans, whatever, Fenty. You could now say, hey, you know what? Not only will I do this influencer campaign with you, but I'm going to physically drive traffic to your retail location. I'm going to reach someone in their home from my followers, and I'm going to compel them to leave their home and come into your store and buy X. And you'll be able to show that happens. And just imagine from a brand's perspective, when, most brands are throwing money and seeing what happens, right? Oh,
yep.
Got 1,000 impressions, maybe 10 sales, we don't know. But this is a way that you can start to give an inherent value to the influence that you've built. It will also, I believe, require a new sense of quality of content. If everything, like you said to your point earlier, David, if everyone can post everywhere, at the end of the day, the quality content is still going to rise to the top. So
I believe, and I know Brooke would attest and the rest of the teams, that this really is a utility that allows you to create unique, compelling experiences. Outside of monetization, sometimes things that are the most valuable are things that cost no money and have no inherent tangible value. But
how dare you try to strike down capitalism?
For my mother, for Mother's Day, I obviously couldn't, see her. It was COVID. So she woke up that morning and she's on Lightplay, and I sent her a 3D augmented reality heart and a video floating in the air in her kitchen, telling her all the ways why she was the best mom in the world. And you would have thought I bought her a diamond ring, a yacht, and a trip around the world. It was the most compelling thing. She called me in tears. That is so sweet. And she could take a picture with it. She could send it to my sister and my grandmother. And suddenly, from 3,000 miles away, I had this deeply rooted, authentic connection. And I think that that's really what Lightplay allows you to do.
I'm only 300 miles away from my mom, and I didn't do anything as nice. So thanks for making me look bad.
Now you can.
Doing it today, Everett. I guess I gotta hop on Lightplay and maybe also send my mom some flowers.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Mom! Pretty close to when this airs.
Oh, happy birthday, Mom.
So just to dig into some details. You said it. You can force it into their space, but this is if they're on Interlife, they can then interact. It then comes up as an option for them. It's not like Futurama where you can force commercials into people's screens, correct?
Correct.
No, yes, you're right. So Lightplay is designed for you to like, discover, and share, right? So it allows you to connect to the people, places, and things you care about most. So you put the content out there, you have control over who gets to see that content and who's alerted to it. It could be everyone. It could be yourself. It could be just a group of specific friends. It could just be, people in a specific area that have to physically be at that location. Yeah, you can do whatever you kind of want within that space.
Just to touch on to that, yes, both users would have to be on the app in order to receive and send. And like you're saying, we're not forcing ourselves into your spaces. But the cool part about it is I can send something at a precise location for someone to decide whether or not they want to engage and interact with it, which is the coolest thing about, like you said, the money-making opportunity there. Whatever was describing, like, I can drive people directly to your store and here's the physical proof. And it's no more of a guessing game or just quantifying based upon the numbers. It's, I have this tool that I have in my hands right now, and I could take said Instagram post and I can post that same post at a physical location. They can click on it, get the directions, and go to that physical location to participate in whatever promo or campaign or whatever they're partnering with. So I think that that's a really cool added step where you can just merge all of these things that you're already doing to amplify the effect.
Really quickly, I know you said this isn't based on blockchain, but does Rypplzz work with blockchain?
Yes. So the great thing about Interlife and Rypplzz is, again, Interlife is an operating system. It's a brand new operating system. You can think of it like Mac and DOS or your Android phone, right? Like, they're all operating systems. And like any operating system, ours is designed to connect with other types of apps and other types of technology like blockchain, like crypto, NFTs. All of that stuff exists and can exist on Lightplay and in Interlife, because again, Interlife just connects the physical and the digital worlds together. So Lightplay allows users to decide how they want to use digital content to interact with the physical world. You really are in control with this technology. If you are a hardcore cryptocurrency person and you are doing NFTs, you could create your own NFT exhibition and drop it in Times Square. And if it's compelling enough, there's enough people with other types of influence walking along on any given day that you just never know who might become someone that falls in love with your art. So I do love that. The other thing I'll say just on the blockchain piece real quick is that we have another product
coming out, it allows for the security of digital content and on physical objects. So we're able to track and trace and secure things like NFTs in a way that's not being done right now currently on the blockchain. I'm sure everyone's seen all of the articles over the past month where all of these blockchains are getting hacked and cryptocurrency being stolen to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars. We've created something that allows you to, have that extra insurance policy to know that if someone were to intrude into your digital wallet, that it would immediately be flagged and immediately be dealt with.
On a very basic level, again, I am not, you guys are the experts here, but blockchain is essentially a digital ledger, which means that each transaction is written onto the end of it, so you can keep track of it. But the way people keep cryptocurrency, which is a form of currency or commodity traded or created on the blockchain, is in a crypto wallet, and those just have regular passwords attached to them. Is that correct? And people are actually hacking into the wallets.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. So you might think, oh, cryptocurrency, it's secure. It, there's a digital ledger. You can't crack it. But it's like printing money on a safe, but then leaving the safe behind a closed door.
Right. Or think about this. Our phones. I mean, the Supreme Court has even ruled on this. Our phones are basically the gateway to our lives. They have our bank accounts, our health information, our kids' school schedules. I mean, it has everything on there. The last thing you want is to have someone hack your phone and shut down your life in the process. Your credit cards have to be reissued. Your bank account may have lost money. You have to write police reports. With Interlife and our operating system, we're building it to be a secure and efficient way to protect the things that you really care about, while also easily having a good time and enhancing kind of the day-to-day way you live your life.
Beautiful. You're good at this. You should do this professionally, right?
I wanted to be a clown, but that didn't work out. I can still juggle, but that's about it.
Wait, are you being serious?
No, I seriously, well, not fully serious.
It was like, what? Tell me.
I'm a clown. I was a professional clown for years. I taught at the Circus Center in San Francisco. I love talking to clowns.
I took clowning class, and a good friend of mine was a ringmaster for Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, and then the lead guy for Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, who actually, trained and took care of all the clowns, was someone who taught me clowning. And I realized that I did not have that physical kind of humor and intellect that you need to be a really good clown. But I can juggle my ass off, so.
I'm a terrible juggler, but I have the great physical humor and intellect. So we're definitely going to do we're going to do a live recording about clowning. I'm going to have you on. So just really quickly, quick fire questions, kind of catch people up. How long has Rypplzz been a company for?
Man, isn't it like over 10 years? Would you say?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been
very, very stealth, intentionally.
So when did you guys release Interlife?
Interlife, the operating system already exists. The way to access Interlife is through LightPlay.
Sorry, I'm sorry. My question was really, when did you guys release LightPlay to the public?
Oh, that is a good question. I don't want to be wrong. I think you're right, Brooke, but I don't want to.
So I'd say roughly 6-ish years, but more recently you guys are really promoting it and pushing it out to the public. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. We did. They did a really big activation with the LA Kings, where there were some really cool intelligent lighting going on that's just done very differently than the usual lighting in auditoriums and convention centers. Where was it? It was a LA Kings game.
At the Staples Center. It was a light show where the entire audience experience of that light show was not pre-programmed. So they give you your wearable when you walk in.
and they're basically assigning you to the purple section. If you move with the way technology is today out of the purple section because you wanted to get a drink or go say hi to a friend in another section, that wearable doesn't know that you moved. With our wearables and our technology, it allowed for a live, a literally live light show on the fly. So no matter what was happening in the audience or where people were, it spatially could recognize that and then allow for this incredibly dynamic light show, unlike anything you've seen. I mean, we can do things like cast a brand or will you marry me across the crowd if someone, was as bold enough to, ask to get engaged in front of 50,000 people.
I have to know, did you like deep dive me before this interview? Because I was also a professional lighting designer in the Bay Area for like 8 years.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
That was that was my word for that was my world for a while. So
it's magic, David. It's magic.
I can't, are you like or it's what's gaslighting in a nice way?
Magic.
There we go, magic. Yeah, that's great. Magic, gaslighting.
Oh man, that's funny. So wait, so are you still up in the Bay Area?
No, I live down in Los Angeles now. I moved down here about 6 years ago for being part of the entertainment industry. Are you guys both based in Los Angeles?
No, I'm actually, I told you I'm in the desert. Rancho Cucamonga, and Everett's not in LA anymore, unfortunately.
No, I lived in LA for 18 years, but in December I moved to New Orleans.
Oh wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
So can you guys just give me your brief bios and like where you came from and what brought you to Rypplzz?
Yes.
Lady.
All right, cool. I'm Brooke Wade. I'm originally from Illinois, very small town outside of Chicago, about an hour and a half south, called Champaign, Illinois. I moved.
Great TV show set there. Great TV show.
You know what? We'll talk about that.
Okay, it wasn't filmed in Champaign. I'm sorry. Please go on.
But I moved to St. Louis like I said, I was in real estate, did a lot of credit restoration, set up some businesses, did some really cool things out in St. Louis, creating economic partners in the community. So I got a lot of Black businesses working with one another, not just collaborating on different initiatives. They were becoming economic partners. So they were flowing their cash and leveraging their credits. It was really a really cool thing out there. I enjoyed my time in St. Louis. And then after that, I moved to California and I started work in the cannabis industry where I met Everett. And we were moving and shaking out there and doing some pretty cool things. What brought me to Rypplzz was working in that industry and collaborating on some projects. And I realized how dynamic their technology was and their team is. And I believe it was just by divine design, if I can say that, and not be laughed out the room. But I just feel like there were just so many things that brought us together that weren't inside of our control. And I began working with Rypplzz, I would say around a year and some change ago. And it's been history ever since.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad you're there. Everett, how about you?
So let's see, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland originally. I grew up as a theater geek. So I started going to, see another thing, man, David. So I started going to theater conservatory in 5th grade. Then I decided to take it seriously. Actually, I was a Campbell Soup kid when I guess I was maybe 3, 4. I got hired for a commercial and then I got fired. So that probably is a sign that I probably am not the best employee or actor, but no.
This industry loves firing people. I've been on set where someone comes on and they literally got fired halfway through a pilot because the producer said, I didn't like their look.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, I won't name names, but I used to work for someone who literally would walk around with a coin in their hand and walk up to you and go, hey, Brooke, heads or tails? Flip the coin. Wow. You get to keep your job today.
I just want to state that despite the fact that it was his catchphrase on Parks and Rec, you're not talking about Rob Lowe, correct?
I am not talking about Rob Lowe, no.
Awesome. Great.
I actually love Rob Lowe as an actor. The West Wing is one of my favorite shows of all time, and Sam Seaborn is amazing. No, so I did that theater for a while. Then I went to film school. I moved out to LA with like $500 and lived in a hostel. Then I was just really ambitious. And the third day I was in LA, I got a job interview for one of the producers on Fear Factor, and they ended up hiring me for that. And then I just kind of did television development mainly. I didn't really like production, but I love taking an idea from impetus of that idea to completion for sales tape or sizzle. So I did that, worked for some really amazing people, some not so amazing people. And then I worked my way up and eventually ended up being a VP of development for Taurus Entertainment and Dream Factory at Paramount Studios. And we had a ton of cool projects and a really killer library of film. And then I kind of did that and realized, oh God, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was turning 30, so I went home for what was supposed to be 2 weeks, ended up being a lot longer than that, and started doing consulting and all kinds of other cool things. I guess cool, I don't know, maybe sometimes cool, sometimes not, and ended up back out here to run a privately held, vertically integrated cannabis company in California, where we led the way in quite a lot in the movement of where legalized cannabis is today. I met Brooke, fell like just in professional love with her, and now she's like she's hung out with my mom and my sister.
So is Brooke your long distance work wife?
She is now my long distance work wife. Yes.
Yes.
Before Mom and Dad, we were in person all the time.
I know. That's why I'm like, unfortunately. That's where the drama came from. Because the cannabis industry taught me a lot, but I just felt like, I don't know, Everett and I, we fit together. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely. I would just, encourage people to go, and can you guys give the link to where they can download the app again?
Absolutely. The website is Lightplay, LIGHT play.app. And you can find where to download there. We're in the App Store and we're on Google Play. We're going to be making some really cool updates to that website too. So I look forward to for people to see that. And if you want, I can go through that Rypplzz explanation as well.
I would love to. Also, if you guys want to go on Instagram or Facebook, they're both at Rypplzz. But again, at Rypplzz, Rypplzz, if you're listening to this as a podcast on Instagram and Facebook.
So I think the thing that is really cool about what we're doing, and the thing that makes me so excited to wake up every single day and work with this really incredible team. I'm really working with some of the smartest and kindest people that I've had the pleasure of working with throughout my entire career. And I think that what people are going to start to see is that is reflected in the products that we put out for users, for the community at large. And more importantly, I think that it really comes back to the power piece. Right now, you are very, very much controlled by what a company will allow you to do or not do, and what it will show you based on what it's decided you want to see or decided that it is best for you. And I think that with what we're doing, we're giving people the opportunity to decide how they want to experience the world and how they want to discover things that they may not have known about, how they want to have fun. If life's a game, Lightplay is this browser that just gives you all of these cool tools to, go create your own Pokemon Go, if that's what you want to do on a Saturday.
Yeah, you guys are not Stream, Jesus Christ. You guys are Steam, the company Steam, for the entire world around us. They help put video games on your computer. You guys help put games in the actual world around us.
Yes, and we turn life into a game and an experience and an opportunity to engage with people that could be on the other side of the world, but you have a similar interest, or you're looking for that rare vinyl that, some guy or some girl or woman, some person all the way over in India somewhere just happens to have that vinyl. You know, the ripples or the ripples effect, you know, the things that you leave here, you know, and I think that we're still lucky to live in a first world nation with all of the kind of things that go with that. But think about what, like we're talking to some people right now for a project in Africa. This village is going to be able to tap into what we're doing here in America. And they might not even have the access, but they'll see the spark of something different, whether it's for them or not for them. You could connect with them and they can connect with you. And I think that that opportunity to share and discover just very unique and something that I'm really excited to see what everyone does with it. That may have been a ramble, but sorry.
No, that was a lovely ramble. I like a lovely ramble. So something that personally really interests me, there's this really weird balance between technology and privilege and access to that technology, where on one hand, the more technology is pushed and the more it gets into the mainstream, the more people use it. Like you guys were talking about how people can, you know, this is a place people can now come on and create an app. The reason why a personal computer is so incredibly ubiquitous is because they created the first Apple computer. There's really not much to do on it. It was a bunch of nerds who would sit around meet up in auditoriums or make their own magazines and write programs for it. And they had apps that everyone wanted. They call a killer app. The people who could use it, even though they were, you know, limited and mostly in certain areas of America around college town and mostly white, they were able to take this technology and push it out. And I think that, you know, I'm just wondering how you guys deal with, or even just think about the fact that technology, and I'm sorry, now I'm rambling here, that technology inherently is used by people who have access to it. And it really seems like a big part of what you guys want to do is democratize information and allow more people easier access with less barriers to put their content into the world and connect with each other without feeling like they're behind an algorithm wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Precisely. Spot on. We've even had discussions with our partners, just, you know, about that fact. And I'm really glad that you weren't afraid to stare that in the face and hit it head on. Like, you don't see a lot of people that look like me or Everett in this space. And I think that that's a very unique position to be in. And it's a responsibility that we have to make sure that those doors are open and that we create luxury technology solutions that are available to everybody at cost efficiently, and also paying attention to the environment as well. I think that that is another driver because, I mean, shoot, Rypplzz, we're made up of mostly minorities as well, and women. And so I really, really like what you said there. And the only thing I have to add is a couple hand claps because that's exactly some of the things that we've been speaking about and making sure that we pay attention to as we move into this area.
I think that what we're really talking about is these patented technologies that we've created and that we're rolling out. And we're talking about what happens when everything that exists currently locked behind a screen or your laptop or your Apple Watch or your phone now is set free and loose to just wander the world and, you know, pick a spot, any spot, and camp out there and tell a story or say hello or just, you know, leave a playlist of your favorite Sunset Boulevard, you know, songs from the 50s all the way till now. And what happens when that's the world that you live in and that you're not being force-fed that by a company or an entity, but by someone who looks just like you or who doesn't look just like you, who just felt like leaving a mood palette of colors that day for other people to find? Like, what happens when that's the world that we're in? And, you know, I'm hoping that it makes people a little more empathetic, a little more curious, a little more interested in finding things. And then lastly, I think that with new technology and things that really break the mold of what was before,
You also want to make sure that the eyes that are looking at it and the brains and the minds and the life experiences that are being infused into it are as diverse and inclusive as possible. And, we've championed that from within the organization, and we also are championing that from outside of the organization. We want, our partners and the people that work with us to share that kind of sense of obligation to the greater good.
So sorry I had that pop up in the screen in the middle of you. I was trying to pull up the quote from Walt Whitman, "Be curious, not judgmental." So I think the way I became connected or knew about Rypplzz was through Randy Turo, and he's really big into movie producing and financing, but he's really more of a like, I want to connect the entire world and give people access to things. And movies are kind of a way for that. Then my brain went blank.
The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, yet I have secrets yet to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. I think that what we're doing today is almost like the Atari of where this is going to go. But when I was a kid and Atari was new, that was the most incredible thing. And you could not tell me that shooting those little dots out of that little thing at the bottom, it's amazing. And I think that if creators and artists and people that have something to say, even if it's just, again, a hello, how are you, left in the sky, see who responds. But for people who see that you're no longer limited to what is, and you have the opportunity to create what will be. And that sounds a little artsy, but the conversations that we have on a regular basis now, multiple times throughout the day, are somewhat fascinating to me still, because we're not talking about this as hyperbole. I say all of that to just say that everyone has a story, everyone has something special within them, and everyone deserves the opportunity to be heard. You don't have to agree, but they deserve the opportunity to be heard. And everyone has a little artist somewhere inside of them, even if it's just art at putting 1 + 1 together. That's still, an art form when you get really good at it. So I encourage people to not think that there's a right way to do this, because there isn't. We're all creating this together. This isn't just a Rypplzz company doing a Rypplzz project. This is a team of really dedicated, passionate people who really just want to figure out the best way and the best tools that we can keep adding to Interlife and on Lightplay, the browser Interlife, to give you guys the opportunity to express yourselves.
Awesome. Also, that, of course, your wonderful speech just brought me back to what I was thinking of. And one of the things that I really liked about Rypplzz was that there's a combination of, you need to have a product people like. You need to have people be able to make money off it. You guys need to be able to be a profitable company to exist in this world. But you guys are also thinking about the other ways to use it and having that dialogue about why it's important. And I think that we kind of started off on the macro of like what this is, of like creators can do anything, anywhere. You can kind of dive deep on like, well, what does that specifically mean to put a piece of fashion on Rodeo Drive? And then you can also say, well, it's good to have these conversations about, I want to help people get access to it. And I want to make sure people have the ability to, barring very specific instances, just express themselves however they like, wherever they like. And I think those conversations and having a diverse team leads to much better outcomes.
Yeah. Right, because if everyone's agreeing, then we're not doing something right. So, I think that's also important. We know that we don't have all the answers. What we know is that we have this technology and we want to see how people use it. For me, again, I said this earlier, but if I'm a TikToker and I have TikTok, which is very, very cool. I mean, it's really, really cool, a really, really cool platform. But if I can keep my TikTok, but now I can place those TikToks in places and have people walk through a whole series of my things, or I'm a storyteller, I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm a producer, I'm an actor. If I can leave scenes, if I can leave behind the scenes, if I can leave a poem that is about a place, or I'm a singer and I'm working on a new album and I want to just, let people kind of go on a trip down, my creative mind and that lane, I can do that. I could literally have people follow along with me.
in this brand new way. So that's the kind of thing that I'm just like, please go play.
Or, you know, if you know, let's say it's a pandemic and you can't actually play there, you could leave your album in the first dive bar you ever played at, or you can give this your school that you used to be at, you can give them some video or movie exclusive to them that where you came from that you might not be able to physically do in person. Just gives you a chance to connect. And I also like the fact that, at least from what I've heard and talked to you guys about previous as well, is there is no algorithm that pushes people to the kind of content that you want them to create. I think that TikTok is wonderful and it leads to some really cool things. It also leads to every single person duetting the exact same video, which is fun and it's great. And that's TikTok. I'm not dissing TikTok, but that leads to instances where the content is pushed by what the algorithm says should be best.
Got it. Yeah.
That would be disadvantageous to the way the brain and the muscle of our technology works. It's not built to do that, and it would not benefit us. The whole point is for everyone to go be themselves and go play and discover and tell us things. You know, like we don't know, but I do know this to your ban point. Breaking a ban is one of the hardest things that you can do. And when you're really starting out and you're trying to get those initial gigs and you kind of got that down, you got a really small audience, 100 people, 200, 300 people of loyal listeners, but you want to break up into that next tier where you're actually, you know, booking an established place. A booking agent is going to be a little nervous about putting you in that venue. But if you want to play the troubadour, and you can do a silent disco party or silent listening party, and you can drive people, real live people, not avatars, and maybe even avatars, to the actual troubadour, and have 300 people suddenly show up for your virtual concert. I bet you the people at the troubadour would pay attention, you know. So like just breaking the mold of how you get access, because the entire world is your canvas.
Yeah.
I love that. And, you know, I think that again, you guys having a diversity of team and having, you know, kind of the way your company is structured, where you have multiple founders and you have people who have a lot of input on how certain things work, is, you know, again, Facebook has done wonderful things and it's connected people from around the world and it's allowed us to share information, but it also, as it scales, those weren't conversations happening going into it. The general ideal of everyone should have everything was there, but there wasn't a diverse team actually talking about how do we shift and grow, which is something that I happen to know you guys are doing. You know, I know that through Randy is how our companies know about each other, but I met Josh Pendrick at an event and we started talking about some really cool new things about, there's a film called Gamer Down that Rypplzz is connected to and that Sherwood Players can be helping out with in some respect. And Josh and I had just like a half an hour conversation about some of the things he was thinking about and new ways to kind of use technology to not just promote a movie, but to allow people to access content in certain spaces, and how that will actually change what the content is and how people are going to be making new kinds of content because they have a new way to interact with people, which I just loved.
This Gamer Down thing is Randy Toro is just one of the most genuinely just awesome people, just throw it all the way out. Like, just so freaking awesome. He's incredibly talented and incredibly successful at what he does, and well respected. But he's so incredibly just a human being that just wants to do good things for people. I mean, like, his heart is so big and he wears it on his sleeves. But the process over the past year of working with him and the team on this is incredible, because to your point, David, it really is completely changing how we even think of 3-act structure. Like, what do they say? There's basically 10 stories and they just keep getting told over and over and over again. The thing that's cool about Gamer Down is it's going to be the first film that doesn't begin or end when the credits roll. And I think just that alone and what that means to how a screenwriter and a director and a cinematographer and an actor is going to start approaching a project is just mind-boggling to me.
Totally. And I think that, one of the really cool things about the platform that Rypplzz is creating is it's almost, I don't mean to be, too pretentious and hoity about it, but it seems like it's almost like a phone. 8 years ago, shows like Psych were having things where you could actually call in and decide how a TV show ended. And it started upping interaction. I guess it all started with really message boards, which is the first place you could really interact with a show. And know with a big thing was like Alias, knowing how things were changing on the show and having that affect the actual creators. I'm really looking forward to having you guys on again, to working with you guys, and to seeing what people come up with about this. I think it's a really cool new space to be in, and I'm very glad you guys created, and I'm so glad you guys took so much time today to talk to me. I know we went over a little bit, but I've just really been enjoying this conversation. I'd love to have you guys on again, or, if you guys ever have time, I know, Brooke, you're a little bit further away in Cucamonga, but I'm happy to have you over to an in-person interview as well. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
To make that work, man. I enjoy talking to you. And I am honored to be in this position. And I think 1,000 different experiences before this very experience right now today has led me to being in this position with the Interlife group, with your company, and being able to stand here and talk about diversity and talk about inclusion and talk about creating experiences that up-level your life experience and your everyday moving about the world, and knowing that I will soon be able to make an impact on someone's life. And that's just when I boil it all the way down to the most simple statement I could make. I'm really excited about that, and excited to show you, your audience, and everybody what we've been working on.
Awesome. And any last words, Everett?
Go forth and create.
Love it.
Awesome. Whoever wants to go first, what's the newest TV show or podcast or thing you've been into that you just love right now?
Like any
literally anything, whatever recent thing you've come across that you're just in love with, let me know what it is.
Okay, I will go, because I do not get to watch television often, but my sister has been visiting from UCLA, and she's been showing me all the stuff that she's been watching, and Inventing Anna has been something that I wrap myself up in. And I liked it because I feel that Anna just embodied that whole that confidence thing. Now, was she a sociopath? Absolutely. Don't be like Anna, but have that Anna level confidence. And I loved it. So yeah.
I also don't watch a lot of TV, but I love some of the actors from this HBO show. And so I had to watch it, The Gilded Age. And it's been really interesting, ironically, because having moved to New Orleans, which was not exactly the plan of action, and being immersed in this world that has so much deep and rich culture, and so much of the old and new competing with each other right now in modern day history, is exactly what The Gilded Age is. It's really about the old versus the new, and so it's been really kind of insightful, ironically, while being entertaining to kind of see that represented. So that's my new kind of fun.
Awesome. Well, I try to watch a ton of TV because unlike you, Everett, I've not escaped it yet. And so I'm so bad about knowing actually about the entertainment industry. I do my best to watch a lot of TV and watch movies, and I will keep up on those. Mine is, if you guys know the Tim Ferriss podcast, Tim Ferriss show, he's the guy who wrote like 5 Hour Body and 5 Hour Work Week. He had a great person on. It was Boyd Vardy. He had a book called The Lion Tracker's Guide to Life. Just a really interesting experience of him growing up in South Africa and kind of turning his space from a place to hunt lions to a wildlife preserve and safari, and just really incredible stories.
The Lion Tracker's Guide to Life?
Yeah. Pretty. Yep, The Lion Tracker's Guide to Life by Boyd Vardy, Varty. I'll throw up all of these on the as notes as well, so people can look these up. I mean, obviously, like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, it really helps us out. You can hear us as a podcast on any major platform. If you're listening to us right now, hit subscribe. It helps us out so we can continue talking to amazing people like Everett and Brooke. Thank you so much for your time, and have a lovely day. I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys again already.
Thank you, David. I'm looking forward to not only meeting you in person next time I'm in LA, but also talking to you about strategizing, bringing this YouTube show out into the world.
Definitely. Also, I have been to like 37 countries, but I've never been to New Orleans, and it's been on my bucket list for a really long time. I'm planning a road trip out there. I'll let you know. We will get some beignets, and I'm going to force you to show me around the city.
Love it.
It is a pleasure, and you will eat some of the best food you've ever had in your life.
Yes. Awesome. Take care, guys.
All right. Thanks, David.
Well, there we go. That was my interview. My camera's off. I'm not usually on camera going on over there, but I haven't interviewed in a while. So if you want to give me any constructive criticism or anything that's really mean but funny, please let me know, guys. Leave it in the comments or message me personally. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this, Dave. Yeah, I do have a lot of feedback for you, mostly very, very good. But first, I'll just say this. We just started something very new just now. We just started our Clubhouse room, Power to the Artist, where we'll be continuing the discussion live right here. And we welcome you guys to transfer over to our Clubhouse app. But for those of you watching YouTube, we're going to actually stay on YouTube as well for a little while. So this is going to be a fun little experiment. Today's been a very experimental day that I think has been successful so far. So let's, as we are now currently, oh, there's Lizette.
Hey, Lizette, how you doing?
I'm back.
I'm back.
Yes, she's back. So let's do this. And if Lizette, if you could log into Clubhouse as well, we're on there. We're streaming simultaneously on both YouTube and Clubhouse right now.
Okay.
If you get a chance, but for now, David and I are on here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna just give some feedback to what just happened, what we heard, and then we'll transition over to Clubhouse and end the YouTube show soon. But for now, since we got everybody here, I got to say, and that was my first time hearing this, and I know you just did that interview yesterday, David. Fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
Kudos, David.
Applaud you. Way to get these guys, Brooke and Everett. They had a lot to say, a lot to offer, but you really nailed them down and had them talking to our audience, because our audience, these are the people who we're speaking with, entertainment professionals who really want to know right off the top, how do NFTs and blockchain, how do they affect what we're doing in our industry? How do they affect me as a creative, as a content creator? And I think you really got to the heart of it and really called them out on a few things as well. So I like that. Do you want to, Dave, do you want to give what some of the thoughts you have right now? And then I'll comment as well.
Yeah, so I also edited that late into last night and today to cut it down, and we had a big before and after, so I'm glad it turned out well. I didn't have a chance to give that a second listen. I just did a single edit on it. Honestly, it wasn't where I thought the conversation was going to go. I felt, like I said, you and I have met with Rypplzz a number of times, and I've had private conversations with one of the founders, Josh Pendrick. There was really more on the blockchain and NFT side and how to tie that into productions. And I find that with interviews, sometimes you just gotta go where the interview takes you. And while I think that this wasn't the interview I expected, it was a really enjoyable interview to get to talk about poetry and our lives, and both through Interlife, which is their light play, which is the app you can go download. You guys saw it on the screen, but really, how do we as artists and as content creators connect with the world around us, and what tools can we use to do that? And so I know they didn't really get into specifics, but I just love the fact that these are conversations that they're actively having, and that you and I are having conversations as well about what does it mean to have free speech versus things that are actually, when you say things that's taking away free speech from people, and how do we as artists reach our audience? I feel like these are conversations you and I have. So I really enjoyed having it with Rypplzz and through their lens of being a technology company. And obviously Everett comes from film as well. So that was really cool getting to check in about that.
Right. And they did a great job explaining, because we need to know, so their company Rypplzz, they created Interlife, and Interlife is the actual operating system, and that we have to kind of equip our minds to start thinking about how this looks, because we're used to internet, operating systems like Chrome and all these Safari and all these, but we have to start looking at this digital world meeting the physical world and what that's going to look like and what platform we're going to be on. I'll tell you something though. If we were to go to the next step with these guys, because to remind the viewers, we have spoken with other NFT creators. We've talked with Planet NFT, True Badger, MetaMars. These are other operating systems, right? That are so these guys are going to be competing for this space, correct?
So I think some of it is competition and some of it is working together as well. And I think that, another fun thing for us is like, when you watch the opening of a movie, and I shouldn't give this away because my dad, this is the favorite, I think my dad's favorite idea of mine is to make a movie entirely out of those opening sequences of movies where like there's a lion and it jumps through something, or the Jerry Bruckheimer and the entire movie comes out of that. But when you make a movie, you need 1 billion production companies. And so I think that while their space is definitely going to be unique and something where we really do need to be out there and seeing, like I said, we film in codecs, not on film, So I think it's our responsibility as artists and as people who share and people who have a production company to say, what will the next platform be? Who are the people doing it best and most responsibly? So I'm really glad we got to have this conversation and see how all of these are going to fit together, how people can sell their NFTs on Light Play, or how we can help put out our show in specific locations using that. And so I think, something that you and I are going to do privately and with the team and more on the show is talk about what new technologies are coming out, how to utilize them, and then help you guys in the audience know with these billion things going on, if it's so hard being a content creator, Lizette knows as well. You have to know a different algorithm for every flipping social media app, and it can be exhausting.
Yeah.
Lizette, do you have any opinions on putting your art in the physical world?
And as far as like you said, the algorithm and just like getting adjusted to how to put everything out there, it's like, I agree, it's complicated, and we need to be taught what to do exactly, but it's hard. I mean, art is in different forms, so did I answer your question, David?
Sure. Yeah, why not? I think we learned from the interview I just did that I'd much rather have an interesting interview than stay on topic.
Oh no. And by the way, your interview, that's why my mind was thinking on your actual interview. But great job, David. Though
Thank
I
you
think
so
you really
much. I appreciate that.
I mean, I think they were really, really, really detailed about explaining everything. Because I'm still getting all that NFT stuff and everything, and I think they were really good about explaining it. I've never heard people, and Randy's great too. I know you guys mentioned Randy too. He was really good about explaining it too, but. Yeah, it's still, it's a whole new realm. And I mean, just when we're getting used to doing Instagram and TikTok and all that, now we have something else we have to adjust to. So
Well,
that's
thank you very much, Leslie. Very nice of you. I really appreciate that. I'm also the one pushing up comments as well. So if I get nice things said to me, I push them up on screen.
Hey, are you saying
being a producer?
Are you saying that didn't just appear right on the screen? Somebody
it was magic. I'm sorry. We already agreed in the interview that magic is just gaslighting people in a nice way. So thank you very much, Leslie, for making that magic for me.
And to our listening audience, the comment was, "That was excellent, David. You were very comfortable and genuine," from Leslie.
Thank you very much.
You were. You're very comfortable.
Right. Yeah. So I think that one of the next steps is to look at almost make like a game plan for every type of technology and make a flow chart for here's how to use like NFTs and blockchain and what the potential ways to go forth and what companies. So each thing now is its own lane and how they all combine together. And I like the fact that not that they're by any means open source. It's not like you could make an app using their OS, using Interlife, but what you can do is add your own, or maybe they're developing that. I don't know. They should tell me more. If you want me to promote your brand better, tell me more about it. But definitely through Interlife, it allows you to take whatever media you have in whatever form and drop it in a certain location. And so, you know, I think the new world increasingly is deciding where you want to make content, deciding what the best platforms for that is, and then deciding how you are willing to adapt your message or your art to work on a platform, and whether that's fun through the constraint and you can have really good art through constraints, or whether it turns it into something you don't like. So I think that's what I would love to hear about from the audience, and you know, talking to you guys in the future as well.
Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and finish up here on YouTube, and we'll take the conversation as it's already started over on Clubhouse. I want to thank you, David, for the excellent interview for today, and really getting us into this next stage of technology, meeting entertainment, and what we have to stay ahead of things, stay, you know, be the front runners, be the canary in the coal mine, as they say.
Yeah. Tip of the spear, baby. Tip of the spear, Sherwood Players.
Exactly. So, all right. So that's it for this week on the Sherwood Shakeup. We'll join us next week. We're going to have the producers of our comedy show going up at the Pineapple Hill Saloon and Bar in the Valley on March 19th. So we'll be here on Tuesday, the 15th, with Angela Marson, special guest, and our other producers, JD Ritter and Andre Walker. So we'll join you guys. See you guys back here next week, same time, same channel.
And even though it wasn't Walt Whitman, I love the quote, be curious, not judgmental. Peace and love to everyone. Stay safe. Pleasure being here, guys.
And come over to Clubhouse.
Bye, guys.